Hello and welcome to Survival Island, and you may notice that the audio is a bit different in this episode, and that's because I discovered too late that Titanfall's beta screws completely with your audio settings. It changes all of your Windows settings, even for microphones. So, the recording level for this episode was even worse than the first experimental ones. And so I decided to dub it over the top. So as you can see, all the grass has grown out to what is going to be the creature spawner, and so I can remove this little bridge now. I'm not sure how doing this narration over the top is going to work, because usually it's just kind of what I'm thinking at the time, whereas in this case it's what I'm trying to remember after the event. In fact, it's a couple of weeks after I recorded this episode, so we're going to get to watch this together and discover what I actually do. So from what I can remember of this episode, I'm wittering on here that I don't think this creature spawner is going to be big enough, because it's kind of small, even compared to the one that I did in Skyblock. But we've got the grass going out there, so we can always expand it later. Getting the grass out there was the first stage. So yeah, as you can see, it's not the biggest area. It seemed quite big when I was building it, now you look at it, it's quite small. So technically I think things would spawn in there, but it doesn't look very good. But this episode we're going to have a look at building the automated cactus farm, which is one of the challenges for this map. And I consider doing it in two different ways. So the first way you can do it is just by leaving a block next to the cactus, so that when it grows it hits it and then it will chop it off. But the problem with that is that unless you get it exactly right, the cactus won't grow sometimes. So I decide upon a redstone system in the end. And in fact I probably shouldn't be telling you this here, I should be telling you it when I'm actually building it. Shouldn't I? Yes, this is probably not going to go well, this narration over the top. For this I apologise, but you can blame Titanfall's beta for this, as well as my ineptitude at not checking what the Windows recording settings were when I kicked off Fraps. So Fraps doesn't have any levels or recording settings. You basically just tell it to record from a microphone and it uses the Windows preset levels and it uses the game levels. So there's no sound options in Fraps at all other than record, don't record. And that's a bit of a pain, so I'm probably going to have to look at something else to record things with other than Fraps. Because if this happens again, this is going to happen on at least 2 episodes, I think. Probably more. Some of them I think I can salvage, others I can't. Just because there's almost no voice level at all. So this is building a piston, or attempting to build a piston. Don't appear to have any redstone, which is going to be a bit of a struggle. Right, there we go. We have redstone. So we can build pistons. So this is how to decide to do the cactus farm in the end, is using pistons and being very indecisive about how many I should make for some reason. because I can complete 2 challenges if I do the cactus farm this way, because one of the challenges is to build something with redstone, and what I can build with redstone is the timing circuit for the cactus farm. Well, for this episode I'm just going to do a very simple cactus farm and operate it via a switch, just to make sure it works. Not quite sure why I'm making redstone torches. Don't think I actually use them in the end. But hey, I'll make a lot of them. Oh, I know, I need to build repeaters for the delay. And I kind of forget how to build a repeater. I know it's torches and redstone and stone, but for some reason I think it's stone slabs, and I think I'm thinking of some of the stuff out of Tekkit that needs those stone blocks that have been cut up, and I've almost got it there. All I've got to do is put the torches on and the redstone, but for some reason I'm obsessed with making little stone things. I'm pretty sure that it's not like that, but I can't remember how to do it. And of course, redstone repeater is just 3 stone blocks across the bottom, a torch on either side, and redstone in the middle. See, so close, getting closer. All we've got to do is put that redstone in the middle. Come on, put the redstone in the middle. Nope. I just can't remember how to make a repeater. So in between episodes I have to go off and remember how to make a repeater using Minecraft Wiki. And that's the problem with going back to vanilla Minecraft, is the fact that I can't remember how to make half the stuff. So I imagine that making the railways is going to be interesting. I'm trying not to look things up, so I still haven't looked up how to make any of the railway stuff. Pretty sure I know how to make the gold tracks, the powered tracks and the plain tracks. But yeah, I could just fire up the wiki every time I get stuck, but I want to try and work it out, because it's not that hard. It's just easy to forget stuff if you don't use it. So this is my idea of a kind of just block cutter. I'm pretty sure that if you build it like that, when the cactus tries to grow, it will then decapitate itself. But I'm also relatively sure that maybe it won't grow. So this is an episode of indecisiveness, which is a shame that the sort of commentary at the time got ruined, because it would have been would have been quite feeble. You're sitting there going, will that work? I don't know if this will work or not. And so I build this that will automatically chop off cactuses, and I'm just constructing the water channel to run around it, which I also dither about because it doesn't work the way I want to do it. So in fact most of this section here never gets used in the automated cactus farm, I'll tell you that much. The idea is sound, it should work, but say even here I've got still bits of water, which I know aren't going to work, because if you've got still bits of water your cactus blocks that drop into them aren't going to flow. But if I put sand there, that's the same problem. If it lands on the sand, it's not going to go anywhere. And you know, I'm dithering around because I don't know how to do it. You see, now I'm looking back at it, it's obvious from I know what's going to happen in the next episode and how I eventually do build this thing and get it fully up and running. And it's obvious. But at the time, if you haven't done this before, it's not obvious at all. So I'm trying to work out how to get the water to flow to those middle blocks. And I can't do it without there being a still section somewhere. As you can see, water will reach the end, but it won't reach there. So I dig it out so it does reach. And then make a place where I can get to collect all the cactuses up. But I still haven't solved the problem of what to do about the gaps in the middle. And I'm trying to work out how that egg got projectile laid all the way out there. So I'm pretty sure this design would have worked, but it didn't involve redstone. So I'm now going to go to the piston design. And so with 3 pistons to push out, and they will decapitate the cactuses. But as you can see from this, there's just basic mistakes that I've made. It's like, look how far back the water is from that edge. It's 2 blocks away from that end cactus. If it was 1 block away, I wouldn't have had to dig that deeper channel to get the cactuses out. And it's just simple things like that. And why are the cactuses too high? If I'd made them 1 block high, I could just decapitate them lower down. Simple things like that. But, you know, hindsight is wonderful. Especially as I look at this now. And I've actually got quite a few more episodes of this recorded. Fortunately, mostly with the sound right. I hadn't realised it was Titanfall that was causing the sound problems, so I reset all the sound levels when I was doing. I think the next episode after this one is okay, and then there's another one later on that's messed up because I simply hadn't realised what was causing, you know, the volume levels and the record levels to go down. I just assumed that it was something I'd done, so I reset them and then did some recording, and that worked out fine. And then a couple of videos later, recording levels are all gone again, and I just couldn't work it out. And then it was one of X Factor's videos. He mentioned the fact that Titanfall kept screwing up all these recording levels, and then the penny dropped, and I've had to go back through all the Minecraft episodes and check them out to see if they're salvageable or if I'm going to have to do this. And fortunately, because there's a tall tree grown, a zombie spawns on top of it. The problem with tall trees in your garden is that monsters will spawn on them because they're in the dark and far enough away. So yeah, Titanfall ruins your volume levels. I've also discovered that various other games and bits of software do the same thing. so I now have to keep a list of what it is. But I think the solution in the end is going to be replacing fraps with something a bit more sophisticated that will, you know, have its own volume and recording settings inbuilt, so that I don't have this problem again. It's not a problem when I'm doing these voiceovers, because the software I use for that is Corel Visual Studio, and that, although it doesn't have its own inbuilt volume settings, it does show you what level you're recording at. And of course I can record a bit of narration and just play it back, and I can hear straight away. Whereas when you're recording with fraps, you know, I'm recording for half an hour and it's only at the end of recording an episode or two that I realise, oh, all the volumes were wrong. And I could either go back and try and recreate it, but yeah, that would be kind of cheating, wouldn't it? I have got this world saved at various points in case of disaster, and basically by just copying the save files. But yeah, that would be a bit cheating, so I'm having to repair it over the top. So this is the new spawner. I've made it a bit bigger, and as you can see, the world has just been cut off to make this survival island. It's not an empty world like it is in Skyblock. It's just a normal world where somebody's cut away all the land around the island. So I'm going to wait some time for the cactuses to grow, and I can test out to see if this piston design will work. And I'm just going to get some redstone so I can extend the switch around so we can see what happens when the pistons fire off. So we'll put the lever down, and cactus decapitation, experiment 1. And cactus flies everywhere. So one missed the water completely, one made it into the water channel and runs down, and one gets stuck on top of the pistons. So although this design will work at chopping off cactuses, it's not going to be terribly efficient. But it's a good start. You know, I can move the pistons one block lower down so that, you know, when the cactus grows to 2 blocks high, I can chop it off rather than waiting for it to get all the way to the top. I can adjust this water to work better and find a way to sort out those sand blocks, which in the end is going to be by removing the middle cactus. So if you remove the middle cactus, you solve the problem of the decapitated cactus lumps hitting one of the other cactuses, because you can put a wall in between them, and you can then have a separate little water source for each of the channels around the cactus. And to stop things flying everywhere, I'm going to build a greenhouse around it. So I need to cook up a load of glass. And so the next video is going to be the proper cactus farm. Thanks for watching.